Hi, this is Suzanne, the study coach, and welcome to our live session. This is the end of the month study questions and answers. So what I'm really keen to find out is what questions you have in relation to your study problems. So what we need to do is, first of all, I'm going to take some questions that people have sent in to me. But if you have any questions, send them in and I will answer them here on our study session. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat box, and any questions that come up, I will be able to see. So one of the things that came up is an email from Sally, and Sally said, look, Suzanne, I just can't focus. I can't get enthusiastic about my study. I'm just having a real issue with being motivated. Do you have any suggestions to get me back to be motivated to study? So my first answer to Sally is, look, Sally, stop beating yourself up. We all go through periods where we just can't focus and there's no reason for it. And you know what you have to do in those periods? Go with the flow. So it's important to accept that you can't always be pumped up and motivated 365 days a year. There are going to be periods where your motivation is going to dip. And when that happens, the worst thing you can do is try and force yourself to study. So what I say to students is, this is the time where you need to just close the books and go and do something else. It may be a couple of hours, it may be half a day, it may be a whole day, it might be the weekend, it might be a week, however long you have. Now, I'm not suggesting you do this during an exam period, but there are periods where you just will not be motivated. When you have these periods, find something else to do. So take the time that you need. It may be half a day, a whole day, the weekend, or a week, as I've said. Make sure that you actually just do something that you find enjoyable. So for me personally, I mean, I had a slump last week and I just didn't feel motivated. And what I did is I just watched my favorite series. Grey Empire was on season 6, the final series, and I watched the whole series 6 and it was fantastic. I watched a couple of films that I'd been meaning to watch for ages, and I just spent the weekend just chilling out, eating, relaxing, watching films. For me, that was really great. Beginning of the week, I didn't feel that motivated, so I had another day off. And then by Tuesday, I was feeling more motivated. So it happens. Embrace it. Do something enjoyable. Waste time doing something enjoyable. And you find that eventually, when you've had your free time, you will be more motivated to study. I think the worst thing you can do is just sit in front of your laptop, force yourself to try and study. And then what happens is you spend hours in front of your laptop. You've not done any work. You've not done anything enjoyable. It's a lose-lose scenario. No work, no enjoyment. So go and have some enjoyment and then come back to your work and you'll be more motivated. Okay. Now, if this happens during an exam period and you're not motivated, alarm bells, because you've got to be motivated in exam time. And the one thing I think that really gets you motivated in exam time is two things. And for me, this always worked. One, think of failure. I don't like to fail. So for me, just even thinking about failure makes me motivated. Secondly, think about what you want to do after you've got that qualification. What's your dream job that you're aiming for? And just focus on that long-term goal. For me, it was about qualifying, being a solicitor. And so that tends to motivate you because you know this is just a stepping stone on that path to getting your dream job. And if you can think like that, even though you may not feel really motivated when you open that first page, thinking about the dream job that you want to get eventually will make you get through that chapter and the next chapter and that exercise and that revision. So exam time, slightly different. You've got to motivate yourself during exam times. And those two tactics always got me to pick up the book, to do my revision, and just go a little bit further to make sure that I didn't fail and I got my dream job at the end of it. Okay, we got an email from Paul, and Paul says, what do I do if I don't hear back from an application for a VAC scheme to get work experience? Okay, so I know that lots of students have been applying for VAC schemes, trying to get virtual VAC schemes so they can get some experience. In the UK, the good news is that the lockdown will eventually be lifted, and hopefully by, I think it's the 21st of June, things will almost be back to normal. So this means that more firms will be moving back from the virtual to the real. There may be more opportunities for students to actually do work experience this summer. And VAC schemes are a great way to get experience. So what do you do if you haven't heard? Okay, don't panic. Law firms are really busy at the moment, and sometimes their timetable slips. It's nothing to do with you. It's the process of them sifting through all the applications. Vacation schemes aren't going to start to the summer, and the timetable sometimes slips. People need to authorize things and they don't get around to doing it. So don't panic. They don't make quick decisions. Okay. Second thing is, some people who run VAC schemes, they want to shortlist candidates, then they want to get academic references, then they want to do interviews. All of that takes time. So no news sometimes is good news. It may mean they're in the process of shortlisting candidates. It may mean they're in the process of just deciding who they want to get academic references from. So try to hold off. Thirdly, if you are shortlisted and you get an interview and your academic references are good, then eventually, hopefully, that email will pop in and it will say that you've got this VAC scheme. There are lots of forums out there where students discuss what's happening with various VAC schemes. So have a look on those forums and see if a particular firm that you've applied to has told other students whether they've been successful or unsuccessful. And you'll get an idea of how they are in that process of letting students know about whether they've succeeded in the VAC scheme. And then I think, if it's been a significant time and you haven't heard, then a polite email inquiry as to when the process will be completed, and, do they have an indication as to when you're likely to be notified? That's perfectly reasonable. But my first advice is don't panic, just wait, and in the meantime, apply to other places for vacation schemes. And the less you focus on one application, the more likely you to get a surprise email saying, wow, you've been successful, you're on our VAC scheme. So don't just apply to one company, apply to many. Don't panic, don't focus on it. Let them do their thing. Eventually they get round to shortlisting applicants and letting people know who's on the shortlist. And if you don't get in, well, you know what? That's one firm. There are plenty more firms out there. Try to be imaginative, try to build your skills. Think about what law firms want, what sorts of students they want on their vacation schemes, and work on trying to develop the skills and the experience that make you more attractive to a law firm on a vacation scheme. So this is an example. If you wanted to do a vacation scheme for a corporate department of a law firm, my advice is, make your application, but in the meantime, while you're waiting to find out, go and do some online courses, go and do some further study about corporate law, business law, trading, anything related to the corporate environment that you're interested in working in. And then show that you've got these additional skills and qualifications from doing these online courses and this online training. Write blogs, contribute to discussions in forums, all of these things to raise your profile and to show that you are genuinely interested in corporate law. If it's crime, then obviously do something similar in a crime law. If it's civil, then think about what other courses you could do that shows your interest and your passion in that subject, and do it while you're waiting for a decision from these law firms. Now, third question coming up. Jay says, I'm really confused. I've got to choose a dissertation topic. Do you have any suggestions? Jay, I know nothing about you. I don't know what type of dissertation you want to do, what area of law you find interesting. Number one for me is I think you have to choose a subject that is going to sustain your interest and your passion. And secondly, it has to be a subject that is topical. It has lots of research material available, so you can demonstrate all sorts of research skills in your master's dissertation. And thirdly, you have to go and look at the criteria that your university has set out for scoring your marks on a dissertation. And you have to read that criteria and work out how you get the best grades, and make sure that your dissertation topic that you want to choose and the research that's available and the data and information that's available is going to hit all of those criteria in your dissertation grades list of criteria for you to hit. So it's, yeah, you've got to do something you're interested in and you're passionate about. You've got to do something that has the research skills that you can demonstrate you have, and hits all the sort of grade points that you need to hit in order to get the top grade for your dissertation. So that's a three-way process in order to get the right dissertation topic. It's not something that you should just pull out of the air, or you should do a dissertation topic because someone else has suggested it, or, you know, it's a carefully thought out process. And if you read my book, LMM Dissertation, you will see that I set out the whole process for thinking about your dissertation topic, thinking about how you can maximize your marks, and then what preliminary preparation you should do to make sure you've chosen the right topic. And I would say choosing a topic is probably something that's going to take you several weeks to sort of fine tune. It's not something that you simply put 3 potential topics down on a list and then go, okay, I'll choose that one. Really, you're going to be really focusing on this dissertation. It's going to have implications for the way that you work in the future, maybe. It's going to be like your calling card when you look for a job after you've graduated. And therefore, you want to make sure you've got the right dissertation topic, you've got the right grade, and that you can speak with knowledge on an area of law that's going to be useful to you in your new working environment. And if you don't think about it carefully and do the preparation, then the danger is that you end up choosing a very bland dissertation title. You end up just reading and repeating information that you've read. It doesn't have any detailed analysis. It doesn't have any assessment of data or research skills, and it doesn't have a novel or new approach to looking at a problem in practice. And then you're not going to be scoring maximum marks and getting the top grades for your dissertation. So think carefully, read my book, LMM Dissertation, and that will help to give you the basics on choosing your dissertation topic. And it's something that you're going to work on over a period. It's not just something you choose after half an hour. So good luck with that, Jay. Let me know how it goes. Now, another question. Jake says, Suzanne, great. Love the Facebook live show. Thank you, Jake. I'm really stressed out with exam preparations going on at the moment. I have some really intense papers to do where I am having up to a week to prepare. Okay, so Jake's in this position where he's got an assessment to do. It's a take-home paper. He's got 7 days in which to prepare and he's getting stressed. Okay, so one of the things that students sometimes do is they think, I've got 7 days. That's 24 hours in a day. I'm going to work for the whole of those 24 hours for 7 days. Then I'll crash, burn, and that will be good because I'll have done this assessment and it will be absolutely brilliant. Don't do it. My advice is pace yourself. Think about this as a marathon, right? A 7-day marathon that you're going to run. You need to sleep, you need to eat, and you need to spend a little bit of time relaxing. You cannot work 24/7. Life is not like that. You will burn yourself out. You'll get to day 3 and you won't even remember what your name is. So pace yourself so that you're doing a maximum amount of study, but you're sleeping, you're having regular breaks, you're having food, and you're able to think and process information and work. You can't study in a vacuum. So your environment, what you're eating, how you're sleeping, what you're drinking are all important. And like an athlete on a marathon run, you've got to take in food, you've got to take in water, you've got to have like breaks where you're not sprinting. It's the same thing with these long take-home essay periods. You've got to focus, but at the same time, focusing is something that gets better when you have breaks and gaps. You know, you've got to sleep, you've got to eat, got to even sometimes go and do a bit of exercise, even if it's like a 20-minute walk somewhere or like a 20-minute jog, half an hour jog, come back, lot more refreshed, sit down and go to work. Think of it like a job. You're going to start at 9, maybe go to 6, have lunch, have breaks, get up, move around. Don't just sit at your desk. It's going to be really bad for you. What you find is eventually just staring at your screen, you actually become less and less effective at studying. Your reasoning and your critical brain begins to shut down and you're not writing your best stuff. So please treat it like a marathon. Work hard, but rest, eat, sleep, take plenty of fluids. And for the next 7 days, remember, you need to talk to your friends still, talk to your family, just focus hard, but not to the exclusion of everything else, because your energy and your ability to understand and be creative in what you're doing is going to be badly affected if you just spent all your time sitting at a desk 24/7 for 7 days. Okay, I know students don't like to hear that. You know, maybe a late night for the last part of this hand-in bit, but on the whole, you need to try and get your 8 hours sleep so that you're refreshed for the next day. Jake, I wish you lots of luck with the assessment. Don't get stressed. Just calm down, take it like a marathon and pace yourself and you will be absolutely fine. So, do we have any questions? Not at the moment. So, final question that's coming on the chat box. Thanks, Suzanne, for the advice. Do you have any advice for people writing an opinion? Oh, gosh, I have written the most fantastic book to help students who are writing an opinion. 10 reasons why you didn't write an outstanding opinion. It's your opportunity to look at all the things that students get wrong and to find the answers to put them right. I've also done some amazing online courses on opinion writing. 3 brilliant courses, short video courses that are designed to help you look at the way that you read information, your case analysis, and with sample opinions. We go through and we look at how an opinion's been drafted, why certain information's been included, and you can compare it with the opinion that you've drafted and see the difference. Okay, you've all been really brilliant today. Thank you so much for joining me on our Wednesday live session, and I'll see you next week. Now, next week is not a question and answer session. We're going to go back to our topics for March, and I look forward to seeing you at 6 o'clock on Wednesday next week. Have a great week. Bye.